What's happening, boys and girls? Welcome back to Photo Hutch. I'm Hutch. Those are photos. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to up your skill level from taking family snapshots to taking photos. How do we do that? We learn how to work this thing that we call a camera. What we're going to work on today is how to isolate your subject, how to make your subject stand out from the background. If you notice right now, if you look behind me, the photographs behind me, they're a little blurry. I'm supposed to be in focus if I got my camera set up properly. What that is the depth of field, how much stuff is in focus. We're changing how deep the focus range is. We're making it more shallow, so those go out of focus and I, in my gorgeous pretty face, shut up, don't laugh at me. And to do that, we change the aperture of the lens. That's the aperture of the lens, the hole in which the amount of light comes in. The smaller the hole, the more stuff is going to be in focus. The bigger the opening in the lens, the less stuff is going to be in focus. It doesn't matter what camera you have, Sony, Nikon, Canon, Fuji, whether it's a Canon Rebel or a 1DX, it doesn't matter if it's entry-level Nikon or high-end Nikon, all cameras, all DSLR cameras have this thing called aperture priority. Whether they call it aperture priority or aperture value, doesn't matter. We're going to show you how to do it. So I didn't want to bother friends or family to help me make this video. So instead, for our model, oh yeah, we're using Johnny Ramone. To the back of the camera we go. This is a Canon 70D. There's not that big of a difference in what these TV, AV, MB, all that stuff means between Canon and Nikon. AV and TV aperture value, time value on Canon. Nikon, it's aperture priority, and I think it's shutter priority. But AV is what we're looking for. That's aperture value. That's the one we're going to be playing with today. We want to look at is this get this F number highlighted. To do that, now I have a touch screen, so I could just simply touch the Q button and it starts to move stuff around, but a lot of people don't have a touchscreen camera. If you have a Rebel or an entry-level camera, you're not going to have touchscreen. So over here on this side, that little Q button right there, that's what you want to press. When you press it, it means you're now accessing that menu, okay? So that's what we're dealing with. We want that little Q button right there. Underneath that Q button, there's a dial and a little toggle switch, okay? The toggle switch is what lets you move around, but you have to make sure that Q button is pressed. If nothing is pressed, there's nothing highlighted here. But as soon as I go over here and press that Q button, you'll see now that that little N is highlighted. And if I push the toggle, it moves it around, okay? That's what we're gonna get. We wanna go over to make sure that we're on that F number, okay? F number is aperture. That's changing that opening. And if I change that, if I push that little Q button and then roll that little dial, those numbers change. So we got to make sure that the ISO, which is kind of, think of the old school days, just like it says, light sensitivity relative to subject. There's three things that make a picture. I'm not going to get into all that stuff. Just put it on auto for today, and it'll set, think of it as the old school days of your film speed, okay? So we're just going to leave that in auto. What we want is this number here, this F number. There's our subject matter. I'm just going to get focused. Back to the Q button. I'm at F22. So that means that a lot of stuff behind Johnny Ramone, all that behind there, is going to be in focus. So I've got it set for a self timer just because I don't want the camera to be blurry at all. And I'll pop a shot here, and this is what we'll get. There's the shot. There's the image there. Get focused. And you can tell clearly that that's a picture of some trees. Okay. Hit that Q button again, that little Q button, flip it over, and we're going to go all the way down. We're going to make a super shallow depth of field. I'm going to go to f2.0, okay? Really big lens opening, tiny, tiny shallow depth of field. And I'm going to put it back into video live view mode so we can get focus. We're in focus, set the self timer, we'll pop the shot, and boom, there it is there. Now notice that picture behind is completely blurry. There's the first one, there's the second one. There's the first one, there's the second one. Completely blown out, completely blurry. That's it. That's all there is to it. Aperture priority, small number, small depth of field, big number, lots of stuff in focus. Play around with it. You'll have a good time. The first time you do it, the first time you take a picture of your son or your daughter and you blow out the background and it takes it from a family snapshot, takes it from a family snapshot to a photograph, you're going to feel so proud of yourself. Stick with it. You'll get it. You'll get the hang of it. You'll understand it. And then you can get into playing with the ISO and figuring out the exposure triangle. But like I was going to say, in the comments below, if there's a video you want made, if you have questions, drop them down there in the comments below. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. And in the meantime and in between time, we'll see you next time.